All right, so today is June 25th, 2021, and we're just getting out of a full moon in Capricorn. That was yesterday at 2 in the morning. So that's the first thing I want to look at, just to kind of dive into your chart, is what is the full moon highlighting for you?
Okay.
So I thought today, because I kind of meditated on what to go into, because we just have this one. This is number 5 class, and then number 6 is next week. So,
Okay.
Still, I was actually going to run it by you if you wanted to do a number 7 classes, but that's up to you.
Sure, definitely.
Because I really feel like the Arabic points should be its own class, because it's math and it's a lot. So I was going to do that one either last or next. Just
Okay.
so for your test, I'm going to send you a bunch of charts of like random people, maybe celebrities. And for your test, you're going to just read the charts as best you can and kind of do a little walkthrough on it. Like, it's not going to be this heavy test where it's pass or fail. It's, if you get stuck, if you have any questions reading the charts, you can stop what you're doing and ask, anything like that. So it's kind of like an open book test.
Okay.
Where I would show you maybe 3 or 4 different charts, and you would give me like a synopsis of their personality or anything that sticks out to you, or any aspects. Or does that make sense? So that's your test.
Do I have to do this completely off the top, or am I allowed to use resources?
You can use resources.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually I would like to be able to overall, just have enough memorized, but I'm not there yet. I can tell you that.
Oh no, this is beginner intermediate class. I don't expect you to. So I just that's part of your test, and I think
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that for the last class.
Okay.
As your final. Anyway, just give you a heads up.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Okay, so for this class, I want to dive more deeply into the planets and the energies behind the planets.
Okay.
We're also going to look at it from an esoteric perspective, and I want to give you a website to research. But having like the standard planetary meanings and then the higher perspective of the planets.
Okay.
So the full moon for you, because again, the moon moves every 2.5 to 3 days. And yesterday it was in the 5th house, still like in the 5th house for you. But it's in Capricorn. It was like the beginning degrees of Capricorn. So I'm actually going to look at this other chart to verify.
Okay.
Right. So this is solar fire.
Okay.
So the inner wheel is your natal chart, and then the outer wheel is the transiting planets.
Okay.
Yeah, this is more, it's a little bit more precise and reliable. Again, that's why I'm pushing get in the software.
Right.
So 18 degrees of Capricorn in your 6th house. So anytime there's a full moon happening, like the day of, or a new moon, or an eclipse, you want to do a transit chart for that day.
Okay.
When you're reading someone's charts. And then you want to look at the aspects, you want to look at the house, any conjunctions, stuff like that, oppositions. So just looking at it without looking at a grid, if you look directly opposing the moon, there's no direct opposition, because this is 18 degrees and this is like 10 degrees. So there's like an 8-degree gap. So that's not a direct opposition. It's kind of like this instead of this.
Right.
So I wouldn't count that. This wouldn't be a conjunction because there's like a 8-degree separation also. So I would just kind of read this like, or let's see if there's any squares. 18, 2. I would say like your full moon is highlighting a square to your natal north node in the 6th house. So long story short, your focus this month for the full moon is your health. Because as you know, the sixth house is health. It's, being of service, work. So it's highlighting those things. And the full moon, it brings up something that you need to release or let go of. So you could release an old routine that's not serving you. You could release fears or worries about a job or money or your health. Basically your health and jobs and being of service in general is your focus this month.
Okay.
All right, so
I can mess with that.
let's dive into the planets. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm sure you've looked at the book, the Astrology, Cosmic Science, about the planets, because each planet is in there, and she gives a very great detail of each planet and what they represent in the chart, and that's why I recommend her books, because they're pretty profound. But I just kind of wanted to go over.
I read this yesterday at the dentist with Jocelyn, actually. Imagine that.
What did you read? You like
the chapter in her book about the planets and their energies. I read it yesterday.
Oh, very cool.
I intuitively prepared for this class.
Nice.
So
right.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so the order from the Earth is essentially how long the transits are. So whatever's closest to the Earth, as you know, the transits are quicker.
Right.
So we'll go over the energies, the transit length. I'll show you a little bit about esoteric astrology.
Okay. Oh, awesome.
Okay. So the moon, in general Western surface astrology, teaches us about, the moon is our emotions. The moon, if you looked at someone's chart, the moon represents their mother. On a greater perspective, the moon is the reflector. It rules our subconscious. It's our deep instinctual habits and reactions on a subconscious level. We don't even know why we react the way we do, but it's so past life. It's so buried and instinctual that a lot of the habits and reactions you have related to your emotions are deeply subconscious. So when you think about the moon doesn't emanate its own light. So it literally reflects the light of the sun or other planets.
I'm taking notes. I'm listening.
No, I know. So when I'm looking at your moon, and when you look at the moon in Gemini, on a surface level, we would say, oh, your mother must have been all about communication, or she was poor with the Chiron there. She was wounded in communication, or she couldn't communicate with you her emotions. So on a surface level, that's obvious. But when you dive deeper into that, subconsciously, you act like a Gemini. You need to express your emotions. You need people around you on a deeper, intimate level to express their emotions, because that helps you to heal. So when you have the moon there in the constellation of Gemini, it reflects others' communication styles. It's a reflector. It doesn't emanate its own light. It just reflects the light coming into it. So you reflect back to other people their emotional state or their emotional wounds, because you have that conjunct Chiron. So the part of you that reflects back, it shows the light, it reflects the light to others. So you don't emanate the light from that area, you reflect back to others. So it acts as like a mirror. So you're talented in reflecting back people's emotional wounds. And it's in the 11th house. The 11th house is Aquarius, it's community, it's networks and groups. So you reflect back the emotional wounding of community. You could, be a part of communities that you really see the pattern of the wound. Like everyone has mommy issues, or everybody has daddy issues, or everybody has the outcast freak wound. Like you are able to reflect back to the community what the emotional wound is. So the moon acts as a very important kind of like an awareness bridge for people. So you might get projected on for poking people's emotional wounds when all you're doing is reflecting back to others their own wounds. So you might poke people to grow, and you might get projected on. The 11th house is also the collective unconscious, or sorry, the personal unconscious. The 12th house is the collective unconscious. So the personal unconscious of people. So it could be, again, you could be the victim of projection. So when you're looking at someone's moon, you're looking for indicators on how they reflect back to others. You're understanding people's projections, because again, the moon doesn't emanate its own light. It reflects back the energy being thrown at it. So it acts as a mirror.
Okay.
All right, so then I want to show you a little worksheet about the moon. Let me pull it up a second. So as you know, there's 8 different phases to the moon, 8 different cycles. With your Chiron there, your Chiron conjunct the moon, there is a deep wounding of the emotions and the subconscious. So it would be very beneficial to study the moon as it's conjuncting your soul wound. So the phases of the relationships to the moon is the new moon. It emerges at 0 degrees to 45 degrees. I'm going to also send you this little worksheet. It's helpful to track the moon. Because that's the main reason, like people are going to ask you these questions. Well, when does the new moon hit my ascendant? Or when is the new moon? Or when is the full moon? Or why does it even matter? Like people are mainly going to ask you about the moon. They're going to ask you about solar returns, but that's what we talked about, the lunar return chart. That's a type of chart a lot of women are interested in, is what is the energy for me this new moon? Or what is the energy for me this full moon? Because it is the quickest moving planet, you can track the different the emotional states we all go through. And because you're so in tune with your emotions, you can feel the moon very deeply. You're like, oh, very fiery today. And intuitively, you're like, wow, the moon must be in a fire sign. Or the moon's in Aries, I really want to start something right now. Or the moon's in Virgo, I really want to clean my house. Or you're going to be teaching people how to reconnect with the cosmos. And part of this class is reconnecting yourself to the cosmos through the planets, like getting to know them like they're your friends. Like I'm getting to know the moon. I'm getting to know my relationship with the moon. I'm getting to know what her personality is, her 8 different phases. She makes me feel different during each phase. She makes me feel different during the 12 different zodiac transits. And when you're really in tune with the moon, you're really tapped in, because people are like, God, I feel so crazy. What the hell's going on in the cosmos? And you could be like, oh, well, we're going through what was it last week? The 21st was a solar eclipse.
Uh-huh.
People are going crazy right now because it's eclipse season, and and you can give people hope. You can give people a lifeline through astrology. Anyway, so yeah, the new moon starts at 0 degrees to 45 degrees. And here she is right here. She's represented in black in this little chart. The crescent now is expansion. It's starting to grow. It's starting to wax. So 45 degrees to 90 degrees. First quarter moon, the action state. It's a really good time to start taking action on something you want to manifest, because when you think about new moon, it represents something new you want to bring into the world, something new you want to create, something new you want to manifest. So it's the pulling towards you energy. It's a manifestation energy. You're using the energy of the new moon to start something brand new, whether that's a new project, a new routine, a new health regimen, a new house, a new job, a new friend, whatever. New moons are excellent of starting something new. Then the crescent phase, when it starts waxing, the 45 to 90 degrees, the moon is now helping you to momentum to then, when the action phase comes in the first quarter, the 90 degrees to 135, which is right here, it's like the half a moon. Now she's really helping you to put your manifestation into full action. And then the gibbous phase is 135 to 180 degrees, which is overcoming. So as soon as we try and manifest something into the world, you're going to meet opposition sometimes, or you're going to meet your own opposition, or you're going to have fears or doubts or insecurities of, oh, I can't start this new project, or I can't start this new job, or whatever. Is gibbous phase is the overcoming phase, is you challenging yourself to break through into the next phase of the full moon, which is fulfillment. So the full moon, which is what was just yesterday, so we're still in the full moon phase. The full moon is the fulfillment. It is the culmination of what you put out during the new moon. And it's about 2 weeks exactly later. So if the new moon, 2 weeks later, you're going to have a full moon. So it's a culmination, it's fulfillment of the outcome of the energies that you've put out during the new moon. That's why it's very important for women to tune into the moon phases so we can get really clear on what we want to manifest in this physical reality. So if the new moon, you really took the time to ground, to set your intention, to light some candles, to journal, whatever, pull some cards, talk to your guides, really specific on what you want to manifest, then the full moon comes and it brings to fruition what you put out. So it's a shame when we don't use the cycles. They're there for us. They're working with us. So when we just don't do ritual, or we don't connect with the moon, or we're not in alignment with the moon, our life is chaotic. We don't understand why we manifested what we manifested. Dreams don't come true as quickly. Things are a little bit more chaotic, but when we're really in tune with the moon and we know that everything has a cycle and a season, your life becomes more harmonious. You understand more of how powerful the moon works for women specifically. You start to track your own cycles when your moon cycle is, some women are new moon bleeders, some women are full moon, and all in between. And you'll start to see the more in tune you are with the moon, the more just as a woman, you really step into your power. And there are so many women right now that are so disconnected from the moon, and which alternatively, as a byproduct, is disconnected with oneself. So when we're disconnected with the moon, we're disconnected with our own internal cycles and rhythms. So it's highly important if you work with women who have any kind of fertility issues or hormonal imbalances or menstrual cycle problems, even cramps. It is really important to reconnect them with the moon, which reconnects them with their real mother, which is Mother Earth. So there's a culmination of events occurring right now of whatever you put out there in the new moon, whether it's conscious or unconscious. You put something out there during the new moon, and the full moon brings it all to a head. And so when we see our external reality and we're like, shit, I put it out in the universe that I wanted to move. Now my AC unit doesn't work. Or whatever. I'm just using that as an example.
Right.
The universe is working with me, not against me. It's just trying to get me to, I'm receiving what I put out during the new moon, and it's my own job to interpret it how I want it.
Sure.
So fulfillment, and then after because 180 degrees is exactly an opposition. So by looking at someone's chart, you can tell it's automatically, without looking at the aspect chart, if their sun and moon are conjunct, they're born with a new moon. If their sun and moon are in opposition, they're born with a full moon. You're going to notice too that each person has their own personality, their own emotional intelligence based on when they were born during what moon phase and their own specific purpose. It's interesting that people that are born on a new moon are really amazing at starting things. People born on a crescent moon are really great at expanding their vision, and so on. Like you have people that are born on the full moon that are really intense people because it's the culmination of events. So they're really, they're good at helping people be very big, shining very bright, because that's when you can really see the moon in all her glory as a full moon.
Right.
So take into account when people are born, what phase they're born.
Okay.
Actually, do you know what phase you were born in?
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
Waxing gibbous.
Nice. Okay, waxing gibbous. Waxing. Okay, great. So you're born right here.
Okay.
So it's literally the phase right before the full moon. So the gibbous
Almost
is over.
done.
Well, if you look here, let's see what. So the overcoming process is when you're born. So it's not quite full, but it's almost full. It's the phase right before us, is like the last effort to really make this dream come into reality. So overcoming could be your keyword. Is that your personality? Is no matter what shit gets thrown at you, you don't give up, because it's the full moon is the culmination state, but before the culmination state, you have to face all the things that block you. It like brings, so overcoming is a big thing to have to do with your personality. Is that is you. No matter what gets in your way, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna find that inner strength. I'm gonna pull up my big girl panties and I'm gonna keep trudging on. And then the full moon happens and it's like an exhale. It's like, oh, okay, like everything's like this big cosmic out breath.
Yeah.
I mean, full moon is uninhibited emotions. And so your emotions are also uninhibited because they're an expansion of, so this, starting the full moon, it starts to wane. So it's kind of like an inhale, and it's the emotions of these people are more calmer, they're more introverted, they're more they're not as expressive of emotions. But these people, these three phases, are more outward in their emotion, they're more expressive. So the more you express your and you don't have a problem with that, but you know what I'm saying? So these three are like an exhale. They're an expressive emotions, they're big emotions leading to the full moon, which is huge. That's why the most rapes and murders occur during a full moon, because it's uninhibited emotions.
All right.
Working in a psych ward, you'll notice that the most incident reports happen during the full moon, because you can medicate people all day long, but you can't suppress emotions. Like the full moon brings all of that to the surface. So it directly works with our emotional body. So as you know, like the tides of the ocean, the moon literally pulls, it waxes and wanes, it pulls our emotional body, and we're like 85% water, which is symbolic of the entire planet. The entire planet, we're mainly water with some islands. There's a shitload of people that live here, but we're mainly like 70% water on this entire planet, which as above, so below, so are we. We're like 70 to 80% water. So if people say, I don't believe in astrology, you can use this example about the moon. About the moon literally pulls the tides of the water, symbolic of pulling the tides of our own emotional body. So we are now forced to look at our emotions. More so, it is so hard to suppress your emotions during a full moon. It's almost impossible.
Yeah. This house gets very emotional. They're being very emotional in their room right now.
Happy full moon. Okay, so now we have the big bang of all the creative energy and all of our emotions are at its peak and it's uninhibited and you can't suppress them. So the people that, you know, shove their emotions during the whole month love the new moon. They're like, cool, I can go inward. I can just not really focus on what I need to do. But the full moon is like, so then after the culmination or the fulfillment process, then we go to the disseminating demonstration process, which is 225 degrees to 270 degrees. So now it starts waning. So now it's a letting go. Demonstration means I'm demonstrating what I need to do to change, what I need to let go that's holding me back from my highest potential. Whether that's fears, whether that's a relationship, whether that's unhealthy patterns, whether that's addiction. The demonstration phase is a good time to start letting go of the things that came up during the full moon, like unhealthy negative thinking or addictions or whatever. A lot of people get triggered in a full moon and they drink, they try to suppress, deny, reject their emotions. And then they come out of it the next couple days and they're like, oh God, why did I do that?
Right.
So then the disseminating phase is a good time to let go of, I need to look at that pattern of, I really like, this demon comes out of me every full moon of anger. I need to like process and work through my anger. I made an ass out of myself on the full moon because I got so drunk or whatever that I need to start letting go and healing.
Right.
And then we get to the last quarter where it's reorientation. So it's a 270 degree to 315 degrees of trying to reorient yourself. The theme is balance. So just like the dark and the light aspects of the moon, these two, first quarter and last quarter, are about that balance. Internal balance versus external balance. So the reorientation process is, I've made a decision within myself that I need to quit drinking. And I am now making the effort to take the steps to what I need to do to then the balsamic phase, which is completely releasing, waning, what I need to let go of. And the balsamic phase, if you think about each planet has similar phases to the moon. It's not just the moon that has phases. Every single planet has a phase. They may not have 8, but they have these similar patterns. All planets have their cycle and seasons.
Right.
So when you hear the term balsamic phase, know that that is the very last phase, and it always has to do with letting go. It always has to do with release. And then the last 3 days, balsamic moon is also called the dark moon. And the dark moon, as women and high priestesses, goes back thousands and thousands of years of they would fast for 3 days during the cycle of the balsamic moon. They would fast, they would meditate, they would ask spirit for visions on what they need to do for this next phase of their life or the next phase of the month. And then the new moon comes and they would break the fast and they would get answers. So these phases are about going deeply inward to oneself and getting really clear on what you need to release. Make the decision to release it, and then the new moon meditate on what new changes you want to have happen in your life. And the cycle starts all over again. So if you choose to not work with the moon is beautiful. You can hop on board whenever you're ready and go through the different cycles and really ask the moon to help you with your own cycles within yourself. So
yeah,
the moon has been intensely profound healer for me. And I love teaching like just moon wisdom. You could literally have entire groups just talking about the moon with a bunch of women And you'd be surprised how many people show up, because so many women are ready to reconnect with their old ancestry. It's your birthright as a woman to be completely in tune with the cosmos and in her power. And that's the quickest way to really step into your power as a woman, is working directly with the moon. I'm in love with the moon, so I'm a little bit biased about this planet.
I am too. And I'm always ready to learn more. Imagine that.
Okay, so I think that's it for now about the moon. Now let's dive into the sun. Unfortunately, I don't have cool graphs for the other planets yet.
Oh, damn. Yet, right?
Yet.
I like that. Yet.
All right. Okay, now we're going to dive into the sun. I'm going to look something up real fast.
So the transits book, does it have more than one cover?
Is it still not come to you?
No, it didn't come to me. And I emailed the people and they were like, oh, it got lost on the 3rd. And I was like, okay, well, refund me then. And I bought a new one and I bought it and it was more money. It was $30. And I was like, whatever. And the picture was the same and everything. Well, when it got here, it's this. And I don't know if it's the same book with just a different cover or if this is different.
Oh, I think that's his old original. Let's see. When you open up the page, does it say shipperbooks.com?
Yeah.
All right, so let's read. And then the first page says, because this is the 2nd edition, you probably have the 1st edition.
It says expanded 2nd edition.
Nice. So you have an even better one.
Okay, so it's still the same. I looked at the cover and I was like, why is it so hard to get this book right now? But it's not. It worked out. So okay,
nice. You got a better one. It was worth the wait. Plus retrograde's over.
Okay, good.
So good.
Right. And they have this little thing in here that says, "Do you have a book idea?" And it's really funny because I have a husband who has lots of book ideas, and they have, here, send us your proposal to this website.
Nice.
And I'm like, well, I'm going to give that to him, and if
Yes.
you want, you can research that.
Yeah, it's in the natural cycles, and things take longer because they're supposed to.
Right? Okay. The sun.
All right. So, by the way, can you see this page?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is I found this a couple years ago, and it's each planet, but the higher perspective of each planet. And it talks about the different rays. And the Solar Fire program that I have, when you do the full natal chart report, has all the different rays. And they're called the psychology of the rays. And this is an important topic because it's an esoteric principle. And the rays, like the cover of the Pink Floyd album, where it's got like the triangle and the different rays coming out of it, that's us, as we are the light. We are from source. Source is the light. And we're all different rays emanating from this one source. So each of us corresponds to a different color. So depending on what ray you are, what color you are, is literally the vibration of what you are, what you embody. So I wanted to mention the rays because it's in your full natal chart report. It'll be like, you are the second ray, you are the third ray. And this is what it's referring to is the vibration of the color and the esoteric principle of light. You embody this specific ray of light. You are a ray of light, and you emanate these characteristics and this color and this planet. And so that's what the rays of astrology or the rays of psychology are referring to in that natal chart report.
Does that correlate with your aura color at all?
Yes. But there's no one set stone like, oh, I'm the second ray, that means I have a green aura. It's not that exact.
Right, sure. Right. Well, and can things change as your energy changes then too?
So we have a primary aura.
Or are you just...
So we have like a primary, like depending on the vibration that we carry. But then the outer layer is like a mood ring. And depends on what emotions you're feeling, it changes. So your inner aura, your primary aura could be correspondent to the rays of light.
Okay.
And that's a really good question. Yeah. But I don't think there's one exact way to.
Right.
All right, so. So how about we go over the planets and then we do the esoteric after?
Okay.
A recap. All right, so now we go over the sun. In Western astrology, the sun represents the father in a chart on a surface level. It also represents your personality structure, your ego personality. So when people are like, I'm transcending my ego in this life and I'm becoming egoless, disagree with that because you need an ego. That's your personality. Your soul, your ego colors your soul. It's important to have an ego. If you did not have an ego, you would be related to like a fifth dimensional being with cognitive disabilities, like the special needs people. They are egoless. Okay. They do not have egos, but at the same time, there's no structure in which to hold their personality. And so they're completely dependent on other people. So it's important to have an ego. So your sun and your chart represents your ego. And if your sun is conjunct Neptune, because Neptune is no boundaries, it's Pisces, it kind of indicates that you have poor boundaries or you have a weak ego or you're working through ego stuff in this life. But you notice again, the aspects are highly important to the planets, and you have your sun exactly conjunct Jupiter. So your personality and Jupiter are like one. So studying your ego personality, I would highly recommend you study Jupiter because they're homies. Jupiter is the philosopher. It's Sagittarius. It's the 9th house. It's the largest planet in our solar system. You can fit 100 Earths in Jupiter. Jupiter is enormous. So when you look at that perspective, you can go, your personality is so vast and so big. Some people could say, oh, your ego is so big. No. That's for you to meditate on. Yeah. You would look at the other aspects to Jupiter to see what kind of personality you're learning in this life. But you set yourself up to have the planet of expansion. So part of your unconscious, because astrology is a map of your unconscious. Astrology is literally a map of your soul. So by studying the chart, you're studying your unconscious, meaning you're studying parts of yourself to make them conscious, to bring them into awareness. So for you, your sun conjunct Jupiter is you're expanding your personality. You're expanding who you are, what your ego is, which is a good thing. So your personality is combined with expansion. So meditate on that. Maybe do some research around that. Or the father is lucky for you in some way, because on a surface level, the sun is your father and Jupiter is luck. Or your father helps you to expand your personality in some way. There's many ways to take this. But again, read the other aspects to the sun and Jupiter. So the sun is, they call it a star. It's a very bright being. And from a shamanic perspective, all these planets, as I've said before, are living beings. They have their own personalities, they have their own cycles, their own retrogrades, their own little quirks and identities. And Leo the sun corresponds with Leo. The moon corresponds with Cancer and the mother. So by studying the sun, you are studying the masculine principle of your psyche, the ego structure. So if the moon is your subconscious and it reflects the light of the sun, your sun is your conscious personality. You're consciously aware that I am Andrea and I like the color purple and I'm an Aquarius sun sign in the seventh house. And I like this and I don't like that. Like, you're consciously aware of your personality, which is the sun. So
Right.
So the sun you chose in the constellation of Aquarius. And people are going to ask you, well, I'm an Aquarius, and is it harmonious to have a Virgo boyfriend? And you're going to answer, there's so many other aspects to your personality, right? The sun is, you're consciously aware that this is your ego. It's just your ego, but there's so many other things going on in the chart. So
Right.
how you see your own ego, how you're learning about your own ego is through the constellation of Aquarius. Okay, let's see, what else could I say about the sun? The sun travels about 29 to 31 days in each constellation, as you know. So everyone has a solar return, a sun return. So happy birthday is happy sun return. And right now, the sun, your astro.com's a little bit off because the sun is actually in the constellation of Cancer right now. A little bit off. Wait, never mind. I'm reading it wrong. My bad. So yeah, it's in Cancer right now. And it's in your 11th house right now. And then it'll go into your 12th house. So then the cycle, studying the cycles and seasons of the sun is, okay, now my personality is going to shine through in the area of Cancer. So the sun is shining its light in the area of Cancer, which is the mother, it's house and home. So a lot of people are going to see what needs to be fixed in the home. Maybe they want to get a home, they need a new home, they want to move. But everyone on a collective level, with the sun shining its solar light in this constellation, you'll notice everybody around you will now change the theme from communication to the home. So you'll notice a lot of people are maybe purchasing a home or moving or renovating their home or redecorating, reorganizing the home, rethinking the home. Well, maybe I should move, or maybe thinking about how to mother themselves or nurture themselves more. You get the point.
Yeah.
So with each constellation, you'll see different themes collectively with where the planets are, especially related to the sun, because you can't not see the sun when it's out. And that's Leo energy. Leo is ruled by the sun. So when the sun is out, it doesn't say, sorry, I'm not going to give my light to certain people, only the people that I deem worthy of my light. No, it gives its light with no expectation. And so that's the Leo energy. Is Leos are learning to be like the sun. And if you have strong Leo in your chart, sun, moon, ascendant, anything conjunct the sun, is you're learning how to emanate that light unconditionally, to give your light to whoever, and whoever crosses your path with no expectation. It's unconditionally giving of your light is Leo and the sun energy. And for thousands and thousands of years, the Egyptians harnessed the power of the sun. They knew the power of the sun. They communicated with the sun. They were considered sun eaters or sun worshipers. And they knew that the sun, like all planets, are portals. And each planet does a different thing for the body, the mind, or the spirit. And for the sun, the solar rays are very potent for the solar plexus. The sun gives you power. The sun is masculine. It gives you strength. It gives you light. And we are a being that relies on the sunlight to be alive. That's why people experience Great Depression living in places like Seattle that's overcast constantly, because they're not getting that vitamin D, the rays of the sun. People that get the rays of the sun are they're more in their masculine, they're more powerful, they have more energy. So the sun, in a balanced way, is very healing. So when the sun rises, and when the sun sets are the two most powerful times to harness the energies of the sun. So when the sun rises, it's a portal. When the sun sets, it's a portal. Those are the two most primary times I highly recommend when studying the sun. Like the sun eaters in Egyptian times, they would get up with the sunrise. They would put over their third eyes this little triangle, and they would literally invite the sun rays to enter their third eye or any parts of their body where they needed healing or strength. You could also practice this by waking up with the sun. If you need more strength, if you need more courage, if you need more energy, by waking up with the sunrise and then harnessing the power of the sun rays directly into your solar plexus. And that's like the quickest way to balance your solar plexus, and it's powerful. It re-energizes your being. It's just an amazing, and it's free.
Right.
What's beautiful about astrology is there's so many gifts that each planet carries, and it's free.
Yes.
And then when the sun sets is another powerful portal time. It's a great time. There's, again, a window. It's a portal. So when the sun is setting, you'll notice a bright orange color. And that bright orange color starts dancing. And that's one of the only times you can look directly at the sun. And when you look directly at the sun in that portal time, it energizes your eyes. It energizes your body. It's again, free energy. So when the sun rises, you can look directly at the sun, and when the sun sets, and you can literally integrate and ask the sun directly to put its solar rays into different parts of your body that you need for healing or strength or energizement, etc. And this goes back thousands of years, and it works. And then solar eclipses and lunar eclipses are, again, natural portal times. It's a portal of energy that's coming into the earth. So when we talk about portals, natural portals, we're talking about planetary energies that are coming down to the earth. And for thousands of years, witches and shamans and healers have celebrated these portal times because it works. It's when you celebrate the sun and the changing of the seasons, you're celebrating your own life and you're becoming more in tune with your own life. But when you start keeping track of the solstices, of the equinoxes, of the sunrises, the sunsets, You are celebrating the cycles and seasons of your own life on this planet. And there's many gifts that these planets have to teach you when we take the time to celebrate them. You can celebrate all the planets, but these two planets are the easiest because they're the quickest. You can track the cycles and seasons quicker than any other. Okay, I think that's it about the sun for now. Okay, so now we go, so the other closest to the Earth would be Mercury. We are going in order to whatever's closest to the Earth. Okay. Also, when you look down here, these are, it says the sun first because it's like sun sign astrology, but these are your personal planets up till Jupiter. So Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter are the slowest moving planets. They affect you personally more than any other planet. Then when we get to Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, those are collective planets. They affect the whole collective. And they're slower in transit. So that's why the order is this way.
Okay.
And then all the other asteroids and North Node, South Node, these are all underneath whatever you programmed in the chart. So these are all, the planets are always first in the order. They take precedence. They are greater in mass. So it means they take greater precedence over the other celestial bodies. So now let's talk about Mercury. Let's see, where's your Mercury? There it is. So Mercury is akin to like Hermes in Greek mythology. This is why I love astrology too, is they incorporate Greek mythology to help people understand how the planets function and what their function is, and why it's important to study each one separately. So Mercury is Hermes, which is one of the quickest moving planets. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks to transit, so it's even lesser than the sun. It is the messenger of the gods, just like Hermes with his wings on his shoes and his little invisibility cap with wings. He communicates to the other planet. That's his job. Mercury's job is to communicate messages to all the other planets. So we know of retrograde cycles in Mercury more than any other planets. Each planet has a retrograde cycle other than the moon. But for some reason, the collective consciousness only focuses on retrogrades with Mercury, because Mercury is the fastest moving planet and affects people personally. It's a personal planet. When Pluto goes retrograde, very few people even feel it, because it's the farthest from the Earth that it's so subtle that we can barely feel its influence. But the more tapped in we are to the cosmos, the more we do feel the retrogrades of the other planets, because it's working our subconscious. But Mercury and all these other personal planets are working our conscious mind. So Mercury has to do with our left brain functional analytical thinking. It has to do with details. That's why when it goes retrograde, we have to live more in the right brain, because we're trying to control everything with our left brain during retrogrades. It's never going to work. So when Mercury goes retrograde, he goes, I forgot something. I forgot to tell Venus something. I forgot to tell this North Node something. I need to go back. I forgot my keys. So every retrograde in general, I will tell you this: when someone's born with a retrograde, it's a skipped step. It's needing to go back and revisit something. So if people have retrogrades, like you have Pluto retrograde, it's got the little R next to it. Any planets that
Okay.
have in your chart says R or they say RX, other chart systems, yours is R
Okay.
for astro.com. Lucifer's retrograde, it's an asteroid. Your Pluto's retrograde. You don't have too many retrogrades that I can see planetary wise. They're pretty station and direct.
Okay.
That's another thing you could look for as a side note is if someone has a lot of retrograde planets they're born with, they're obviously here to redo something. Do you need to get the door?
No.
Okay.
No. Rob's right there.
Oh, okay. So people with a lot of retrogrades are here to do they're here to redo something that they missed. They're literally, it's like a lifetime of revisiting or redoing something that they need to redo. They left something undone. They need to revisit this lifetime because fill in the blank. But when you have a lot of direct planets like yourself, you're here to move forward and to completely do a new chapter in your progression of your soul's evolution. And I always help people study their retrograde planets because that's where the skip steps are to move forward. So as a side note, I would study the one retrograde planet that you have, which is Pluto. And Pluto's in retrograde right now. And so when you're looking at the transits, take note of the R. See the tiny little R, it's almost not noticeable.
Yeah.
So take note of the transiting planets. So you know that they're not moving forward right now. They are retrograding, which means they're not actually moving backwards. It's an illusion. They appear that they're moving backwards. Just like someone who is, someone who's backing up and someone who's going in, it's like an illusion. In the carport, they're not actually moving backward.
Right. Or when you stop the light and the car next to you is moving, it makes you feel like you're moving.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So right now, for everyone, we have Jupiter retrograde, we have Saturn retrograde, we have Pluto retrograde. There's a lot of retrograde action right now for people. We're diving deeper, we're redoing something, we're reanalyzing, we're evaluating our deep subconscious fears. Pluto retrogrades, we'll go over that later, but you get the point about retrogrades.
Yeah.
It's a skip step. Like you're getting ready for work, you're in a hurry, you get in your car and you're about ready to drive and you realize you forgot your keys in the house. So that's what retrogrades are, is oh shit. I have to go all the way back. I forgot a skip step. I cannot move forward. I cannot go to work unless I go back, get my keys and redo something.
Yeah.
So when people are like, oh shit, it's a Mercury retrograde, my whole life's gonna fall apart during this month. I hate retrogrades. I hate them. They're not bad. The cosmos is helping us. They're going, you know what? We love you so much. We're gonna give you a pause.
Yeah.
We're going to let you, instead of moving forward, we're going to give you this time to reevaluate something you could do better, or something you need to redo, or something you need to have more clarity on. So it's a gift from the universe when there's retrograde periods. It like slows things down. It makes things more chaotic, but it pulls you inward. So you get out of the chaotic external reality and you go inward during retrogrades. So Hermes, Mercury, the messenger of the gods, goes around the wheel and it talks to the other planets and it goes, hey, Venus, we're so close together. I just wanted to let you know that this is how we're going to communicate spirit, because it's in the constellation of Pisces or whatever. is
Uh-huh.
you look at people's Mercuries in their chart, and this is how they think and communicate. If you want to do couples counseling, you would look at both of their Mercuries. Well, what's your communication style? Do you have opposite Mercuries, or do you have conjunct Mercuries, or are your Mercuries square each other? That's the first indication of a relationship, is what is your thinking and communication style? So,
And is that where I would use like a composite chart so that I could compare? Or I mean, a synastry?
you use synastry to
Yeah,
compare.
synastry. Because then I can pull them both. Composite is where it completes a new chart.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it's the composite would be how the relationship communicates, because it's
Okay.
the third energy. So for you, you communicate in the 8th house realm and the Piscean constellation. So it's two water. So you communicate. You look at the elements of each planet too. You go, okay, well, her communication style is a mixture of 8th house Scorpio, which is water, and Pisces, which is water. So you have a watery way of thinking and expressing yourself, which is emotions. So the way you communicate is on an emotional level.
Yeah.
You're constantly thinking about your emotions. You're constantly thinking about the emotions of other people around you. You're constantly thinking about how you could make their lives better. Your thinking is very penetrative because it's in the 8th house of Scorpio. So these people with Mercury in the 8th house, they like to go super deep. It's like deep psychological excavation. Like the deeper you go, the deeper you go. So your mind is so penetrative, like a detective. Like 8th house Mercury would be great at detective work, archaeology, anthropology, counseling, psychology, anything that like uncovers secrets, anything that's below the surface or way out in space. So it's like uncovering, it's a mind that probes and wants to know why things are the way they are. Why is this person acting this way? They must have had some pretty bad trauma. Or why are people such sheep? I want to figure out what's below the surface of why people act the way they do, or why you want to know why about everything. So that's why you are like that, is your Mercury is in the deepest place of the chart. It's deep.
Yeah. Yep. I basically don't want to talk if it's not deep.
Exactly. And me and you share that. I got Mercury in the 8th too. And that's why I'm able to communicate, because house is esoterics. Astrology is considered esoteric science. So this is why I'm an astrologer, is this placement right here.
Right.
So another thing that was pointed out to me is Mercury in the 8th is communicating with the dead.
Uh-huh.
Because you have Mercury, the communicator, in the house of the dead, death. So you naturally talk to spirits. You're naturally a medium. But you already knew that. All right. So let's talk about Venus. Venus is next in line. She transits from 4 to 5 weeks. Venus, the little glyph symbol, is a hand mirror. Actually, I think it's like Wikipedia. There's like a list of all the planets and the symbols. I'm going to look for it real quick. Okay, cool. Do you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this, I'm going to share over to the chat screen. it's really interesting about the glyph symbols, why they are the way they are. And then also shows like the ancient glyph symbol. So you have Pluto here. Pluto, traditional symbol. And then you'll notice Pluto. How does it appear in astro.com? Because every website uses different glyphs sometimes. So, okay, so we've got the P. So this was the ancient glyph symbol of Pluto. So it's got Pluto's circle
Cool.
and a cross or bident. This is literally talking about Pluto is the god of the underworld, and this is his invisibility cap. And that's why they chose this symbol. This is the symbol for Hades, which is the god of the underworld. And that's what Pluto, the planet, represents, is your underworld, your personal underworld, what you're evolving through. And this is his invisibility cap. But most websites now use just the P.
Interesting.
So this little studying the different symbols, like the history of, because it's changed throughout the years.
Right.
And look how many symbols Pluto has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
That it used to have. It's gone through many phases, depending on what website you use and yada yada. And then it's got some of the aspects to research it more, like Vigentile, some style. Anyway, let me share this over. Okay, so back to Venus. Venus is considered a hand mirror. It says hand mirror or necklace. So this is a great symbol because Venus in your chart, sorry, I'm a little distracted with your baby.
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Poor little baby. I don't miss being a toddler.
She's just mad and hot.
Yeah, I don't blame her. What is it, 120 where you guys are?
Today so far, it's only like 100 out there.
Woohoo! Venus in your chart is the great attractor, and this is what you just read about in that book. Venus is also the mirror. Its hand mirror is symbolic of what Venus and the 7th house and Libra does. They all have in common is they mirror back, just like kind of the moon reflecting back. They are walking mirrors. So Libra, if you have strong Libra in your chart, or you'll understand this concept, you have the sun in the 7th house. So you understand and you learn more about yourself through the other, through the mirror versus anything else. You learn the quickest about yourself through the reflection in the mirror. So this is where the term projection comes from. And this is why I call the 7th house the house of the shadow. It's the house where we project onto people, onto the other. So again, you could be a monk on top of the mountain meditating for 20 years, and you will not reach enlightenment as quick as having another person reflecting back your shadows. So when we project, it's like saying, when we have something in our teeth and we go, "You have something in your teeth. It's disgusting." And they literally don't have anything in their teeth. You're literally like projecting. And so I always say, like, with projection, you wouldn't brush the mirror's teeth. You don't stand in the mirror and brush the mirror's teeth. You brush your own teeth. So that's like Venus. It's a mirror. It shows you yourself, and whether you love yourself or you hate aspects of yourself determines what reflection you'll get. So that's studying Venus is studying the concept of mirroring. Venus is, there's so much to talk about Venus, like on so many levels, but we call it, I want to give you the story of they call it the day Venus versus the night Venus. So Venus has many phases like the moon and many cycles. And when you have Venus above the horizon line, you have a day Venus. When you have Venus below the horizon line, you have a night Venus. You can hear me okay? Okay, just making sure. So when you have a day Venus, the day Venus embodies more of the light, meaning the way you love and the way you express yourself and your own self-love is more externally. You like to give to people more. You like to shine your light to people outside yourself, and that makes you feel loved. That makes you feel good about yourself. That's how you feel loved, is when you're giving externally to your family or to people in your community. Is that's what fills you up and make you feel loved and of service, is giving light and love outside of yourself. So if you're a night Venus and you're teaching someone about their chart or about their own self-love, is the night Venus below the horizon line does better giving to themselves. Like they do better going inward. They feel more loved, pampering themselves. It doesn't make them any less giving of people. It's just that's how they recharge themselves. Because when you think of Venus, that's earthly love. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. So Venus is earthly love, how you give to yourself and how you give to people on earth. And then Neptune is the higher octave, so it's divine love. The earthly love is earthly love. It's incapable of divine love. You can get close, but it's earthly pleasure and earthly love. And again, the day Venus person gives its earthly love through their family, through outside of themselves. They love giving. They will be a fierce warrior for their family. They will protect their family. They will make extra effort, like the warrior with a sword, to make sure that their family feels protected and loved. The night Venus person, because they fill their cup up more alone or internally, will feel greatly loved when they have the space to themselves and they feel nurtured and supported, not externally, but internally. So it's more of an internal support. So it's a completely different contrast of how they share earthly love. Make sense? Okay.
I muted my background for a sec because they were going crazy.
So you'll notice that the planet Venus, it looks like the equivalent of a fiery hell. When you study each planet, you can take that into account of the energies, the personality structure of each planet. So on a shamanic level, you would see Venus as a fiery hellfire planet of burning and volcanoes. And so you're like, well, what the hell does that have to do with earthly love? You have to walk through the fires of your own hell to really love yourself and to really love other people. So Venus is considered, oh, Venus, it's what's her name? Dang it. The goddess of
Aphrodite.
Yeah. It's related to, in Greek mythology, Aphrodite. But Aphrodite is considered this vanilla, blonde, easy, everything's so easy for her. It's all light and love. That's Venus. That's not true. Aphrodite has a background story. And it's a story of walking through her own hellfire. And when we go through Venus returns, it's related to the story of Persephone. It's your initiation. So another thing to look for in someone's chart as well as your own is a Venus return. So that's when you notice Venus transiting over and conjuncting your natal Venus. I think it happens I don't know this for certain. I don't know the exact timing, but I think it's every 4 years. I have to look into that. You're going to have every planet's going to return except for the planets that are way outside of Earth. Like you'll never see a Pluto return in your life unless you live to 300 because it takes 247 years to go all the way around. But Venus returns, you'll see, because I think it is every 4 to 5 years, can't remember. And then Venus returns are like the different 8 phases of the moon. You go through different phases with your love. So your love goes through phases. So your Venus is right here. The transiting Venus. This is your natal Venus, and then Venus in the sky is in the day Venus part of your chart. So it's still about giving love to your external reality. It's about expressing outside of yourself your love. And then when it goes down into the night part of your chart, your love will be more self-focused because this is the more personal houses. So when it moves through the 12th and it goes back into your first, you'll notice this phase of your love, how you express your earthly love, will be more towards yourself. And it is completely okay to be more giving to yourself during this 6, I think. I have to look into that. I should know the Venus transit patterns or Venus return pattern. All right, so what else can I say about Venus? That mirror, again, it holds up the mirror of how you love yourself on an earthly level. It holds up the mirror for other people on how they love themselves, and you learn the most through the other. So your Venus, let's look at your Venus. This is how you love. Your Venus is in the constellation of Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune. This is the highest placement to have Venus, is in the constellation of Pisces, conjunct Neptune, and so on. So the way you love is very Neptunian-like, which takes on the higher octave of your love. So your love is like cosmic source. How you love is so deep, it's higher than normal earthly Venus because it's in this constellation of divinity and source and spirit. So take note within yourself that you have the ability to love someone unconditionally. You have the ability to love yourself unconditionally. You connect people through your love to divinity. Cool. And then you have Venus in the 8th house. So the 8th house is how you heal with another person. It's not only the 8th house of death, it's how you heal with another. So you heal the way you think and communicate with the other, and you heal the way you love with another. So someone takes you through your initiation into your underworld, the 8th house, and helps you to remember how you are capable of loving through the eyes of divinity. So you've been through some pretty painful initiations related to love, but somebody helped you get through the initiation of the 8th house Venus. That's a hard placement. You could also research that a little bit more on your own, Venus in the 8th house person. It's a tough placement. Venus in Scorpio is tough. Venus in the 8th house is tough. Like Venus opposing Pluto. Any Venus and Pluto aspects are really tough in a person's chart because it's related to deep death, transformation related to love, and that's always really hard. So you've had some intense transformations in the area of love, which was your initiation. So Yeah, you made it.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh,
All right. So another thing to note was last week there was a Venus Pluto opposition. It was creating a lot of tension in relationships. Last week was hard. It's moved on. So the opposition is over, but it was a hard week of love relationships and tension, and Pluto and Venus learning from each other. And that's always a hard, any Venus Pluto aspects are very hard.
okay.
Your Venus is trine Pluto in your chart, so that's very lucky for you.
It's one of the few trines in my chart.
Oh, I've seen pretty bad. You're good, but yeah, you have a lot of challenges. All right, so anything, do you have any questions? I think I'm done with Venus.
All right.
There's a lot to talk about with Venus.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's talk about Mars, and then let's talk about Jupiter, and then I think I have to end it because I don't realize how long it takes to go through each planet.
Okay. That'll probably be better for my children there. Rob has to leave soon, and it's so hot in here that we're all losing our minds. So,
All right, do you want to end it on that, or do you want to like at least finish the?
no. Let's finish it. We can do Mars and Jupiter. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not leaving yet, and they're okay. I'll just keep muting if they get loud and just nod, and I'm still here.
All right. Well, technically we have 20 minutes.
Yeah,
But
that's fine.
we might go a little over, but no more than a half an hour. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about Mars. Some say that's the warrior aspect of your being. Some say that's the masculine aspect of yourself.
You guys are going to be watching?
Mars is your energy in your chart. It's what you desire. If Venus is the great attractor and it pulls in, Mars is what you put out and what you desire. So when you desire something, your masculine energy, you are putting out into the universe. That's masculine. You're saying, I desire children, or I desire this, or I desire a new car or house or whatever it is. And then Venus magnetizes it to you. So that's that divine masculine, divine feminine flow. We send out, we receive. It's supposed to be that beautiful, harmonious flow of giving and receiving. And that's when we are really in the flow, is when we easily receive and we easily give. It's that unity consciousness, that beautiful dance. So when someone has trouble manifesting something, you would look at Venus and Mars. Because Mars is, well, maybe you're desiring something that's unrealistic. So you would look at their Mars placement. Or maybe what their Venus aspects are very hard, meaning they're not receiving what they're desiring. So when people come to you for manifestation problems, as well as if you have manifestation problems, you always look for the Mars-Venus dance. It's a good indicator to see what you desire in this life when you look at your Mars. It's what you're sexually attracted to, what you desire on all levels, not just physical and sexual. It's what you desire in terms of a home, what you desire in terms of a body, what you desire in terms of a career. But it is the energy of your chart. So this is a never-ending place where you put your energy, whether consciously or unconsciously. You are constantly putting your energy wherever Mars is in your chart. So for you, your energy is always going in the direction of Sagittarius constellation and the 5th house. So when you look at that, you go, okay, I have a never-ending supply of energy in the categories of Sagittarius, which is the philosopher, the higher education, not just college, but like esoterics and beyond. You have a bunch of energy to be a spiritual seeker. You have a bunch of energy to travel, whether astral traveling, meditation, foreign countries, a lot of your energy in Sagittarius, it's constantly never ending for you. So you could put that into studies. You could put that into spiritual seeking. You could put that into researching different philosophies, different cultures. You can put that into higher knowledge, like getting a PhD in a college program. But essentially all your energy goes in that area. And then you look at the aspects, of course. The Saturn here restricts you to make sure that you look at this. Saturn here conjunct your Mars is going, we need to mature. We need to get you to focus and direct that energy in this area. So Mars conjunct Saturn, Saturn is literally helping you direct your energy and mature and where you're putting your energy related to Sagittarius. So now we look at the 5th house. This is how the energy plays out. So your energy plays out in the form of having kids. 5th house children, it's play, it's creativity, it's sports, gambling, it's the fun house, it's amusement, it's romance. So you have a never-ending supply of energy towards your children. I mean, of course, you run out of energy, but I'm saying like you'll always have energy to give to your kids, to give to your romantic partners, to put into your creativity. Like that's where all of your energy always goes, is Sagittarian and Leo. Leo's the 5th house. So you got this fire. Your energy is very fire. If you feel that you are lacking in any energy, you need to study the fire element. Light some candles, sun gaze, like we talked about. I consider the sun a very fire element. If you were ever lacking in energy, tap into your Mars and play with fire, because it'll reignite your energy internally. So Mars, again, is considered the warrior. So everyone has a different type of warrior within. Your warrior could be a very fiery warrior. You could have because Sagittarius is like the archer. You could have an archer warrior, like Artemis, the archer. You could have, this is actually a fun class I did. I taught a class on how to tap into your inner warrior, and I did a meditation, and then I had everyone draw or paint their inner warrior, depending on where their placement was of Mars in their chart. So if someone had Mars in Taurus, they'd have a grounded warrior. They'd have a grounded, stable warrior of like Earth. It'd be like a guardian of Earth. But your warrior is fire. You have a fire warrior. So you could do a little homework for yourself, is find an archetype of a goddess that works with the element of fire. And if you need any kind of empowerment, any kind of motivation or momentum in your life, communicate or look at this image of that archetype of a goddess that works with the element of fire, or Sagittarius, or Leo, 5th house. So, makes sense? Okay.
Makes sense, yes.
Okay. So when someone comes to you because they're lacking in motivation or they're lacking in energy, you would look at their Mars aspects. Maybe people with like really no energy, they would have like Mars in the 12th house. So again, if you're working with clients for like exercise routines or weight loss, you want to ask them about their energy. You want to see where their Mars is. You want to see how they can tap more into their Mars. People that are so lazy and their Mars is in Aries, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I look at the aspects, and they don't have hard aspects. They're just, it's so programmed in them not to exercise. And then they uncover this part of themselves as actually they're in love with exercise, and they just needed that guidance to tap into the Mars.
Right.
So that's, I love Mars. So anyway, it's a red planet, right? It's the planet of fire and war and passion.
That's my fiery Sagittarius baby right there.
There you go. And like the warrior in Sagittarius is you fight for the rights of truth. Because Sagittarius is truth. You have the sword of truth. So your warrior could fight for like universal truths or freedom. But Sagittarius keyword is always truth. They're truth seekers. So your inner warrior could definitely stand its ground for truth and through illusion. Cut through the bullshit of media fear crap. Cut through all that. All right, so let's leave it with Jupiter. Let's go over Jupiter now. Jupiter looks like
Okie dokie.
a 4. Jupiter, we went over a little bit because it's conjunct your sun, is the largest planet in our solar system. You can fit 100 Earths in it. It is very enormous. It is literally whatever it touches, it expands. So whatever Jupiter touches, it will expand in a chart. It's funny, but people that have their Jupiter on their ascendant or in their first house are usually big people. I had a friend that every time Jupiter transits over her ascendant, she gets very large because her natal Jupiter is on her own ascendant. So you'll notice that, you know, the universe has jokes and we all embody different planets, especially the first house and the ascendant, because it's your body. So Jupiter is a big presence. It's large and it's in charge, but it's not domineering in any way. It's a very benevolent planet. They say some planets are malevolent, like Mars and Pluto are supposedly malevolent. And then Jupiter and the moon and so on are benevolent. No planets are evil or good. They all are here to be of service to us. But Jupiter is usually a very easy process. It's a gentler process. It expands things. It's where your luck is. It's usually points out to expanding something in your life to make it more obvious. Also, you could have negatively adverse Jupiter transits, like it could expand the problem. So right now you have Jupiter, for everybody, it's Jupiter retrograde right now. And it's retrograding into Pisces. And it's there till July 25th, and then it retrogrades back into Aquarius. So right now, Jupiter is expanding all of the keywords of Pisces, which is compassion. So we have a greater capacity for compassion right now until the 25th of July. It's a greater awareness of mysticism, meditation. It's expanding all these things. So maybe as a collective, we can have more compassion for humanity. We can have more compassion for ourselves. We can get more into meditation. The ancient ruler of Jupiter, or sorry, Pisces was once ruled by Jupiter. It's its ancient ruler. Now Pisces is ruled by Neptune, but before Neptune was discovered, Jupiter was the ruler of Pisces. So Jupiter loves to be in the constellation of Pisces. It's a very harmonious place to have Jupiter. Jupiter transits are 1 year, give or take a few days. And retrograde Jupiters can last up to 6 months, but this one is very quick. It's a little touch, like I'm going to hang out in the constellation of Pisces for a month, like 6 weeks, and then I'm going to go back into Aquarius. And then it's going to be in Aquarius for like a few months, and then it's going to go back into Pisces very quickly, and then it'll go into Aries for like a whole year. So it's only touched in Pisces for like a little bit. So it's giving us this gift because Jupiter is luck. It's expansion. It's giving us the gift of being more in tune with divinity, having more compassion for humanity, having more compassion for ourselves with ease and grace. So studying Jupiter is studying where your consciousness is expanding. where your luck is right now. So right now your luck is the 8th house, which is healing with another. It's literally going to be touching your Venus. So it's going to expand your Venus, which is you'll have more love. You'll feel more self-love. You'll want to give more of your love. This could be more money coming in because Venus is love and money because it's earthly love. Money and love are the same planet. So Jupiter transits are typically really harmonious. So again, I think in another week, or even right now, like your ability to bring in money, to magnetize, because Venus magnetizes to you. With Jupiter there conjunct your natal Venus, you could study that and reinforce that you are very lucky in love and money right now. We have Jupiter returns.
And then that's just during the retrograde?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then it'll go back though to your natal, it'll retrograde back because you have Jupiter in Aquarius. So Jupiter is more. Whatever it touches, it expands. So it's more of something. So you have your sun in Aquarius and Jupiter, you have a lot of Aquarius. You have more Aquarius. It expands the Aquarius. There's a lot of Aquarius. So your focus on community and networking and groups, and you're really Aquarian archetype. Like it expands all that. It's a lot of Aquarian with Jupiter there. So you're going to go, I mean, you've been going through, because Jupiter's been in Aquarius for a few, like 4 months. So you're going through a Jupiter return. And a Jupiter return happens every 12 years because it takes a year to transit, like about 12 and a half years is when we have Jupiter returns. And during this Jupiter return, it's supposed to be a really lucky year. And when your Jupiter goes back into Aquarius, that is a very lucky, you're supposed to have like an easy year for you to like, exhale, relax, focus on you for once, like focus on your business, focus on your art, chill out. Like this is it's supposed to be an easy, lucky year for you as an Aquarian because that's where your Jupiter is.
Okay.
What else can I say about Jupiter? Jupiter, let's see. I was trying to click the other tab here. So Jupiter is, again, they use all Greek mythology, and this symbol is Jupiter's thunderbolt or an eagle.
Okay.
So in this little link that I sent you, it talks about how Jupiter is the sky father, the god of the sky, and it rules over thunder and lightning. Roman religion and mythology. So usually when you study Jupiter with the thunder, then creates lightning. So lightning is kind of akin to Uranus, but the thunder is Jupiter. So as you know, like the thunder, it creates something in your consciousness of change. It's still like when there's storms coming and thunderstorms are about ready to happen, in your psyche, it creates the atmosphere of change brewing. Something brewing. Something wants to shift within you. And that's symbolic of knowledge. That's because Jupiter is all about knowledge. And that's why Aquarius and Sagittarius belong so well, because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter, just like Aquarius, is searching for knowledge. So it talks a little bit about this in the link I sent you about the Greek mythology with Jupiter.
Okay.
And then when thunderbolts happen, that's symbolic of awakening. Like Aquarius, thunderbolts are awakening. So first there's the shift in consciousness, the seeking, the spiritual seeking, obtaining information, and then the lightning bolts are a shift in consciousness. So it's explaining what Jupiter does in your chart.
Okay.
I think that's it so far. So we're gonna leave it at that, and then we'll continue the planets next time.
Okay.
And I think we'll do 7 classes, so then we can do the Arabic points and do the test.
Okay.
If that's okay with you.
Totally.
Okay, so your homework today, I'm going to send you a link to the website for esoteric astrology. And I just kind of want you to run through it and just see what the higher ruler is of each planet.
Okay.
So do a little research on the website and see what inspires you. And that's about it.
Okay.
All right.